Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Hilman Mamat. I'm from English Education Department. Today, I'm gonna present the results of my research. The topic is Thai EFL Pre-Service Teacher Challenges in Teaching English in Indonesian Classroom. The research question is, what are the problems encountered by Thai EFL students while teaching English in Indonesian classroom context? The data collection that used the reflection, the instruments spread through Google Form. After the participants filled the reflection, the researcher read and then analyzed the data. The data analysis, the students' reflection was highlighted and then categorized and coded to option several similar perception of the students. Okay, the finding of reflection. First, about the feeling of Thai students when teaching English in Indonesian classroom context. A third diagram above, it showed that 30% they were not confident when teaching English in Indonesian classroom, and it showed that 30% too they were happy when teaching English in Indonesian classroom. Then 20% they were nervous when teaching English in Indonesian classroom, and 20% they felt funny. Most Thai students that they were not confident and happy when teaching English in Indonesian classroom because the diagram it showed that 30%. Second, in their mind about Indonesian students' reaction, who they would teach English with their Thai accent. Through the diagram above, it showed that 25% of Indonesian students' reaction as they didn't understand when Thai EFL were teaching in the classroom by using Thai accent, and it showed that 75% of Indonesian students' reaction as they were worried when Thai EFL were teaching in the classroom by using Thai accent. So most of Indonesian students' reaction that they were worried when Thai EFL were teaching in the classroom by using Thai accent because the diagram it showed that 75%. Third, about when teaching English in the class, they found difficulties of problems with the students. Through the diagram above, it showed that 43% some of Indonesian students they didn't focus to study, and it showed that 29% some of Indonesian students they were less vocabulary, and then 14% some of Indonesian students they were lazy to study, and 14% too some of Indonesian students they were less practicing to speak English. So most of Indonesian students they didn't focus to study. That is the problems of students which they found. Fourth, about when teaching English in the class, they found difficulties of problems with classroom management. Through the diagram above, it showed that 67% of Thai EFL found the problems with the classroom management as limited time, and it showed that 33% of Thai EFL found the problems with the classroom management as dividing group. So, most of the problems of classroom management they found as limited time because of diagram it showed that 67%. Fifth, they found difficulties of problems with their mentor teacher. Those diagram above it showed that 60% of Thai EFL they didn't find the problems with their mentor teacher, and it showed that 20% of Thai EFL they found the problems with their mentor teacher as some of the mentor teachers is busy, and it showed that 20% too of Thai EFL they found the problems with their mentor teacher as some of the mentor teachers about misunderstanding with their mentor. So, most of Thai EFL they didn't find the problems with their mentor teacher because of diagram it showed that 60%. Discussion the feelings of Thai pre-service teacher when teaching English in Indonesian classroom. As one of the challenges, the research results found that 30% they were not confident. Next, some difficulties of problems with the Indonesian students. The research results found that 43% some of Indonesian students they didn't focus to study. Next, some difficulties of problems with the classroom management. The research results found that 67% of Thai EFL found the problems with the classroom management as limited time, and some difficulties of problems with the mentor teacher. The research results found that 60% of Thai EFL they didn't find the problems with their mentor teacher. So the biggest challenges of Thai EFL to English teacher in Indonesian classroom context. They are not confident to speak English while teaching English in an Indonesian classroom. Liu 2007 posits that EFL teachers often suffer from an inferiority complex because they are never able to achieve the level of linguistics proficiency that is so valued in their profession, such as the ability to speak with a native speaker accent. The conclusion is, so the results of this research that depends on the scope of the study. The results of this research showed that most Thai EFL students who have experienced real English teaching in some schools in Kundari, they are not confident to speak English while teaching English in an Indonesian classroom context. Besides that, they have an accent that is different from the Thai accent because the English language that it's not the main language of them. Finally, based on the results of this study, it has known that the insecurity of Thai EFL is a real problem faced by students while teaching English in the Indonesian classroom. Firstly, the researcher may focus on using the teaching method for Thai EFL while being a pre-service teacher in the Indonesian classroom because based on the results above, they have some problems with classroom management. For example, they have a time limited in teaching English. Secondly, the researcher may focus more on challenges to change the setting and participants of research. For example, in another research, the researcher may put the participants as Indonesian EFL and the setting as in the Malaysian classroom. So I think that is all for me, and see you later. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.